Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Welcome to a new opportunity in the crypto space, crypto laundry. Yes, crypto laundry. It is a space that I'm actually getting more and more interested in investing in. And that's what we're going to talk about here. But no, I'm not talking about your clothing, and I'm not talking about life insurance that you can get in as little as 5 minutes by going to meetkevin.com/life. I'm talking about illegal currency transactions that get turned into real legitimate money that we can go buy stuff with. Yes, apparently, according to the Financial Times in a phenomenal piece that they put out this morning, available on Hydra today are treasurer men. Yes, treasurer men who will literally accept your cryptocurrency and then leave you bundles of cash, either buried or behind bushes or in many different places, and all you'll get are the coordinates. And you'll get that information through encrypted means so that their identity can't be discovered. So in other words, you have to hire somebody completely anonymous, trust them enough to give them your cryptocurrency, and then they will go bury cash for you somewhere. And this is how apparently crypto laundry gets washed. So you can start going shopping and spending using maybe not even cash, but things like iTunes gift cards or prepaid debit cards. So you could actually use the money that you got through whatever potentially illicit operation you're operating. Think about it. Last year, $350 million in crypto ransoms were paid out. And folks, if you're gonna do illegal work, you're gonna wanna be able to use that money, because what good is cryptocurrency for you if you go to a store and you're like, hey, I wanna buy myself a new computer so I can scam some more people, if that's all gonna get tracked and tied back to you through surveillance footage or the, well, very trackable and public blockchain in terms of where it went up or where your currencies ended up and who ended up going to pick the stuff up. And they don't want any of this. But let's get into a better explanation of what's actually happening here. So let's make a simple example. Let's say use a scammer and you ripped somebody off for $10,000 because you left a comment on the YouTube video impersonating somebody else going, hey, I got an ingenious investment opportunity and you're guaranteed to 3x your money if you send me $10,000 in Bitcoin now. Obviously, when things sound too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Just to be clear, I do not have a WhatsApp and I do not want you to send me cryptocurrency because I'm not going to make you any kind of promise like doubling or tripling your money like that because it's too good to be true. This is how people get scammed. But let's say you are such a scammer and you're like, I got $10,000. I don't have to work at minimum wage because I got $10,000. How are you actually going to get this money into the economy? And why the heck would I be talking about this? Well, because we as investors might be interested in investing in the intelligence operations to track these scammers down. But let's understand a little bit more. So let's say you stole $10,000 worth of stuff using Bitcoin. Well, obviously, if you go use it to buy like my courses, linked down below, by sending me Bitcoin, that ends up tracking to me, which then links back to your email because you're going to email me to get your course enrollment. And many of you are doing that because the course coupon code expires on May 31st, and I promised you we're going to have the biggest price increase ever on June 1st because of inflation and because I hired a marketer. But anyway, we've got to consider, okay, in this scenario, that would be really stupid. Because if you're a criminal trying to buy my courses, I think that's a bad idea, okay? Criminals, don't do that. Because what happens? Well, it's not gonna take much for the FBI to send me a subpoena and go, yo, we want your email records. Here's a court order to give us your email record of who you enrolled when they sent you that money. Well, now your wallet's exposed and all your other activities exposed, right? So you can't actually be a criminal and functionally use the cryptocurrency to transact because wherever your endpoint is for that transaction is a big vulnerability for you. So you gotta try to break apart from the blockchain. How do you do that? Well, you could do that in a few different ways. You could do that in one way by using a treasurer man, which is what we talked about earlier in the video, which is literally where you are sending your money blindly to somebody who is then going to turn that, somebody anonymous obviously, who is then going to turn that into cold hard cash or gift cards or debit cards for you. Alternatively, you can try using things like privacy coins like Monero or privacy wallets that shield more of your identity and start hiding or washing some transaction details by having less on the blockchain. And again, usually this is done through privacy coins, which break the chain of history of how much we can track, right? So there are ways to make your data obscured or somewhat disappear through privacy coins and privacy wallets to make it easier for criminals to get away. But there's still ways of tracking folks. Now, some folks say, hey, kind of like a hot car, right after you steal a hot car, you let it go cool off somewhere for a little bit. A lot of folks, a lot of criminals tend to take their currencies or cryptocurrencies, take them into cold storage, disappear off of the exchanges completely, and they wait sometimes years to reintroduce their coins into the market and then potentially go through privacy wallets or wait for new privacy wallets or go to treasurer men to get their money out of the ecosystem so they can use the money that they stole. This is crypto laundry, washing themselves of their history and their criminal track record. And things like this are getting more and more challenging because you've even got the IRS now coming in saying we want a record of everybody who is transacting in amounts of over $10,000. Now, let's be real, we could just start transacting in amounts of $9,000, which is basically exactly what criminals do today when it comes to transacting in cash at banks. You're not going to fill out that transaction form because you're carrying over $10,000 to deposit at the bank. I'm just going to do it in $9,000 increments or smaller increments, whatever. But folks, regulation is coming, and more eyeballs are coming into the crypto space. Wait a minute, Kevin. Don't people use cryptocurrencies for illicit activities less than they use cash for illicit activities and fiat? Well, maybe, but it may also be that we think people use cash more for illicit activities because we see crypto transactions happening, but we don't yet have a clear indication as to whether or not they're legal or illegal. And since there are so many dark pools and ways of moving cryptocurrencies around illegally and us not knowing that bags of cash are being buried somewhere, it's actually really hard to track how much illicit activity there really is. And so even though in my interviews with CEOs, we've talked about how there seems to be less illegal activity with cryptocurrencies, I can't help but consider the fact that most people trying to scam people today are using cryptocurrencies as a means of transacting money. I mean, think about it. How many scammers are leaving comments asking you to Western Union them money anymore? It's all being done in crypto now. And you've got 11,600 crypto ATMs throughout the world that have pretty much no regulation. On top of that, consider this. Last year, when crypto exchanges started realizing that regulation was coming, especially know your customer, KYC rules, which require information on who you are, your address, socials, things like that, shares of crypto brokerage companies fell 45%. So as much as I want and believe in the crypto bull argument that crypto crime is not an issue, I think there's going to be a really big market going forward for investigating crypto crime. And there are companies that do just this. There are two that come to mind. There's Chainalysis, which is a private company, which you could probably invest in through like an EquityZen or whatever, and you could try to get an allocation into a company like Chainalysis, or just watch them until they go public and consider investing in them. But there are also public companies like Big Digital Assets. Big Digital Assets is an OTC stock. I have interviewed the CEO on my channel, so you could watch that interview. Just type in Meet Kevin Big Digital Assets. And these firms are seeing their book of business go way up because the FBI, governments throughout the world, and other companies are trying to do whatever they can to track down the treasurer men or treasurer women and the crypto criminals that are stealing money from people, whether using ransomware or impersonation schemes, whatever. There is crime in cryptocurrency. We don't know exactly how much there is relative to fiat because, again, harder to track. But I'll tell you, this opens the door to really cool potential opportunities as investors. So me personally, I haven't jumped in yet and I haven't bought in on Big Digital yet, but I'm getting tempted. Big Digital is losing a lot of money right now, so I want to see them develop a little bit more, but I'm optimistic and I love the CEO. I'm also watching Chainalysis very, very closely because their website analytic data is also growing like crazy, which means a lot of other people are checking out this company as well. So folks, hopefully you learned something today, but let's be real. As a bottom line, we don't know how much crypto crime there is out there. But but we do know that it exists. And we do know it's very difficult to track crypto crime. And if it's difficult and expensive to track crypto crime, that means crypto forensic companies are gonna make lots of money. So there you have it, folks. So thank you so very much for watching. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. That way I know that you like this content and you want more of it. Check out the courses down below with that coupon code expiring on Monday. And folks, we'll see you on the next one.